Welcome back to another episode of Navigating Postpartum with me, Jaree. I am so glad that you are tuning in. If you are new here, welcome. I am a postpartum coach helping new moms achieve balance in motherhood and show up as their best self. And if you are a regular subscriber, I am so happy that you are listening in today. It really means a lot, y'all. We hit over 103 plays for all my episodes, and I'm just so grateful that you guys are rocking with me. I'm able to give you guys gems. It means so much. And today, we're going to get into it. And if you have not yet, make sure you subscribe. Make sure that you tag me in your story with a screenshot of this podcast and share it with someone, okay? All right, here we go. Today, we're talking about reclaiming your time. Y'all know I love that quote from Maxine Waters. She'd be like, reclaiming my time, because your time is valuable. And I want you to think about today is how are you using your life to impact others, whether it's as a mom, as a wife, whatever career that you're in. How are you impacting life of others? Because are you living a life focused on what you can gain materialistic or status wise, or are you trying to leave an impact? I say this because I know that we can focus on things that make us lose our sense of giving because we're steadfast in our day-to-day to gain more. So we're always focused on achieving goals and going through the day-to-day life of getting things done. But what if you were to go to the doctor today and they were to tell you that you only had 90 days left to live? How would you spend that time? I really want you to think about that for a moment. Like, how would you spend your time if you only have 90 days left? Because that's going to help you reevaluate even for your life now. Like, are you living up to your fullest potential? Are you making an impact on others, or are you focused on the wrong things? Yeah, that's heavy, huh? That's really heavy. And I say this because I don't want you to continue to go through the day-to-day motions. I know how it is just to be in survival mode. It's not fun. And when you take the effort and the time to elevate yourself, life gets so much more better. I don't even know if that makes sense, so much more better. It gets better. And you get a different perspective, a bit different lens in life. And so I want you to think about that. And if you had that time, would you try to leave an impact on others on how you make them feel? Or would you try to do more to leave a status that you can't take with you? So what kind of life would you want to live? I want you to think, how can we use our lives to impact others? Every single person, even you, don't doubt yourself. Every single person has something unique that they can bring to the table. Whether it's a skill, a talent, or simply just love. As women, we often take on a lot of responsibility and our lives can become hectic and overwhelming. But what if, think about it for a second. If we shifted our focus from trying to gain more in life to using what we have for a greater purpose. This could involve anything from starting a project, serving, making an impact on something that you enjoy doing. Like, if you could do something for free, what would it be? Would it be you volunteering at a homeless shelter? That's free. But like, if you wanted to create a change, what would you do? How would you make that impact in those 90 days? How could you start those small steps? If you want to start a business, how could you do that? If you want to become a better mom, what steps would you take? Would you go to classes? Would you read more parenting books? Would you ask for help from people that you trust? If you want to become a better woman, how are you going to do that? These are the questions that you want to ask, because that's how you're going to leave an impact. And when you ask those questions, I want you to write them down, your responses, so that you can review them. That can help you kind of build your blueprint, your vision for how you want to be and how you want to show up. Because you can make an impact. And you don't always have to focus necessarily on, making sure your outer appearance is all done up and keeping up with the Joneses. Because At the end of the day, we can't take the material things with us, but we can leave an impact. And I don't know what quote word for word, but I know Maya Angelou always talks about how you can always leave a person. It's like you make an impact on how you make someone feel. And I want you to think about that. How are you making the people around you feel? Even your immediate, like in your household, is your family happy to see you? Are they like, oh boy, I don't know what I'm going to get today? Are you showing love to your children? Are you showing love to your partner? Are you being respectful? Are you filling them up as well as filling yourself up? Because the impact on others, think about the impact on yourself. How are you pouring into yourself? And I really want you to think about this because this is heavy work. It's not easy, but you can do it. And no matter the situation, womanhood is always about the heart of giving. We're always outpouring, but we have to make sure we're pouring into ourselves as well. But that's for another topic. But I do want you to think about the heart for giving of you leaving an impact. Whether you're a mother, your grandmother, or just starting out in life, selflessness and compassion is key. But I want you to know it is to an extent, because you should have boundaries as well. You need boundaries because sometimes people don't know when to be like, hold up, you're asking for too much and I can't do all of that. But just have your boundaries and see the blessing of being a blessing to others. This can include serving those in need, such as the elderly, the homeless, or even your family. Like, try and look at the positive of serving in your home. I know some days, I'm not going to lie. Some days I get overwhelmed. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm doing all these things. But if you read my email from my weekly email about are you a Martha or are you a Mary? It's basically about, in the Bible, in Luke, I'll tell you guys the scripture and stuff too as well, but it's basically talking about how Jesus came to Martha Mary's house. And Mary was busy Mary wasn't busy, but she spent the time sitting at Jesus' feet, listening and being just basically soaking in what he could give her and teach her. Meanwhile, Martha was distracted by everything around her and was like, Lord, like, I'm doing all these things and my sister over here sitting at your feet. And he was like, you focused on the wrong things. And I want you to think about that as well. Like, are you a Martha or are you a Mary? Are you going to be focused on the wrong things and miss those precious moments? Or are you going to embrace those precious moments and soak it up? And I want you to think about that too, as in your household, because I know sometimes I get overwhelmed and I'm like distracted, like Martha, trying to get everything done. Meanwhile, I can spend those extra moments with my family. It's okay if the laundry doesn't get folded right away. It's okay if the floor doesn't get swept right away. Like, sometimes you have to figure out in that moment, is this a precious moment or does this task need to be done? And that's where we kind of have to figure that out too, to know how you're going to make your impact. I really hope that makes sense. And if you're interested in subscribing to my email list, make sure you go on my Instagram, @balanceMotherhood_, and subscribe. And you'll get a free new mommy checklist to help you show up for yourself. But yes, when I read that, I was like, oh my gosh, like, he was talking to me when I read that. Because oftentimes I read that and like, oh yeah, she was distracted. But God was telling me, girl, you've been distracted about the wrong things. I need you to focus. So I want you to think about the same thing, about how your distractions can impact how you serve others and take care of yourself. The chapter in the Bible that I read that from was Luke 9. I want to say it was like 39 through 41, something like that. It was towards the end of Luke. But it was really good. So I say you should read it if you feel like you want more context to it. It was really good. And I was like, I don't want to be a Martha. I need to be a Mary. But anyways, before I get sidetracked, I really hope that kind of gave you a different perspective as well. But just know that you can be a blessing to others, and it doesn't always have to necessarily be something that you're breaking your neck doing. It could be small things. Like, even for me, telling my husband, thank you. thank you for whatever he does. I am appreciative of it. Or showing respect to my kids and showing love to them. It's just so many different things. And even the people around you, telling them thank you, and going to make sure that you're doing things from the heart and not just expecting things in return. Like maybe bringing someone something to eat or helping someone in a time of need. Those are still making impacts, and that's what you could do if you had those last days. Like, how could you make others feel loved and know that you cared? Also, take into consideration, working together and being there for one another is an essential part of how we create an environment of support. That's where that village comes from. And just understanding that you can truly impact others. And if you have the resources to be helpful, whatever skill you have, whatever gift that's unique, or a book or food service, clothes, fashion, how to help people with their finances, whatever it is, whatever you're good at, that is part of how you can serve others. And that's how you can be more than just a mom. That's how you can be that woman that you want to be and show up for her and know that she is there. Every single one of you have the power to make a difference in someone's life. Whether it's your kids, your partner, your friends, your coworkers, whatever it is, even a stranger on the street. You have the power to make the difference. So I want you to use your everyday life to make an impact on those around us. Even a little acts of kindness can have an immense effect. You never know how someone feels. You can hold the door open and they feel so grateful because you took that time to see them. I know I always think about my son being a light when he goes to the store. He's always smiling at people when talking to them, and they're just really happy. Like, you never know who you're impacting and making a difference for. So I hope you go out there, start thinking, how can you make an impact to others? How can you take care of yourself? And most of all, how can you limit your distractions so that you are embracing those precious moments? Thank you for listening. And if you listen all the way to the end, I want you to tag me in your story. And hopefully this has helped you get a new perspective about reclaiming your time and how you can make an impact. So until next time, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And if you want to get to know more about me, follow me on Instagram, @balanceMotherhood_, and message me. I love to chat and get to know you guys. So have a good one, and I will see you guys. Well, talk to you guys soon. Bye.